My name is Danielle Belton, and I'm editor-in-chief of The Root. Today, I'm joined by Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Mary J. Blige, President and CEO of Black Women's Health Imperative, Linda Golder-Blount, and co-founder of Breast Care for Washington, Dr. Regina Hampton. Ladies, let's chat breast cancer awareness. So, Dr. Hampton, how does breast cancer affect Black women as opposed to how it impacts white women?
As African American women, we actually get breast cancer less than our white counterparts. However, we do die at a higher rate. And some of the reasons for that are because we tend to get breast cancer at younger ages, and we tend to get a more aggressive form of breast cancer called triple negative disease. So that's why it's very imperative that we're having this great discussion about screening in African American women and being more aggressive at screening.
This next question is for Linda. Why is early detection of breast cancer so important for Black women in particular? And how is Black Women's Health Imperative getting the message out?
As Dr. Hampton said, Black women tend to get breast cancer on average about 5 to 7 years younger. And so, one of the reasons we don't screen is because our providers just simply don't recommend it. But when you look at, 28% of our cancers occurring under 50, and we tend to get our cancers detected at a later stage, it's critical to get this message out, because we know that if we could get Black women screening earlier, we can save lives. And this is, one of those rare cancers where we can kind of talk about a cure. It's not biology, it's not genetics. This is access. Danielle, in 1981, Black women and white women had the same breast cancer mortality rates. And now Black women die 40% more, some 40 years later. And that just reflects who got access to early detection and treatment and who didn't. So this campaign, this partnership with Hologic, with Rad 8, and with Mary J. Blige is the perfect way to help Black women understand the importance of screening, of early detection, and to give them the tools, the resources, the information they need to act on that, because there's just no reason for us to die at such high rates from breast cancer.
I totally agree. Mary, when did you get your first mammogram and how was that experience?
Wow, I got my first mammogram when I turned 40, and it was a little worrisome. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't want to get a cancer diagnosis, and I didn't know if it was going to hurt or not. But by the time I was at that point, I was really curious about my health, because my body started speaking, and I started listening and paying attention to my health. So I was really wanting to know what was going to happen, at the same time, a little nervous, a little scared about everything, but just wanting to know. Once I went through the procedure, I found out that it was nothing. It was cake. It was a little discomfort, a little breast here, a little squeeze here, a little squeeze there. And I've been going ever since. Because it's easy to do, and I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Mary, your aunt passed from breast cancer. How did this experience impact your life?
It really bothered me because I didn't find out she died from breast cancer until she died. That was later. I went to see her in the hospital and everything, and I just knew she had cancer. And I asked later, what type of cancer was it, when I wanted to know about, the types of, cancers you could die from. And they were like, it was breast cancer. And I was like, wow, okay, well, thanks for telling us now, because when we were younger, no one told us anything. No woman in our household spoke about a mammogram or breast cancer. It's just one of your family members just ups and dies, and that's it. But I believe that if they had this information, they would be alive today. The importance of a mammogram, if they had that information, or if they had proper health care, they would be alive today. And that's why I don't mind being on the front line with the Black Women's Health Imperative and Hologic and Rad 8 to get this message out, because there are a lot of women, like you said, they're younger, dying. They don't know at a younger age that you don't have to be an older woman to go get this mammogram. Unfortunately, I was in my 40s, but thank God I didn't get any breast cancer diagnosis. And I had the blessing of having my GYN tell me, refer me to get it, because no one tells us. But, we can tell the doctor, look, I want a mammogram, because it's extremely important.
No, I completely agree. Dr. Hampton, what are some common misconceptions that often women, particularly Black women, might have about breast cancer awareness or getting a mammogram?
So I think Mary brings up a great point. We're not talking in our families. And so I think we need to talk about our health history in our families so that we know what to look for. Some of the misconceptions, people think there's a lot of pain associated with a mammogram. Some people think that getting a mammogram actually causes cancer. I have women who come in and say, well, I've been getting mammograms for years, and then all of a sudden I have a cancer. And the message we want to send to women is, we want to find a cancer when it's small. So the whole point of getting the mammogram is we want you to get a mammogram and it be negative. But we also want, if there's going to be something, we want to find it quick and early. And that's the advantage of having a 3D mammogram over our typical mammogram. And I think a lot of people think, well, there's no family history, so I don't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, that's a misconception as well, because only 1 in 10 women will have a family history. So I tell women every day, the biggest risk factor for breast cancer are being a woman, ding, 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 having breasts, ding, ding. So we as women are all at risk. And as African-American women, we're at even higher risk. And so we need to keep that at the forefront. We need to get that message out there so that we can make a difference in our community.
Linda, why is it important for Black women to self-advocate at a time when racial and gender bias can affect the overall quality of healthcare that we receive?
Good question, especially right now, as we look at what's happening in this country in this moment of racial reckoning. Black women have always been at the forefront. We've always been out there, trying to advocating for our rights. But right now, with this dual pandemic, or maybe triple pandemic, when you look at racial injustice, COVID-19, and the economic impact, we have got to prioritize our health, but make it known to our providers that we are involved and engaged and paying attention to what they do. Because, my concern is Dr. Hampton knows, is Black women may not go get screened. They may put off treatment or screenings, and that could make things much worse. So we really have to step up, not only for our economic rights and employment rights, but for our health rights, and insist that we get screening, get the proper treatment, get the kind of care and support that we need. And that's, what the Black Women's Health Imperative has been talking about for 38 years, is that notion of self-care. Self-care is self-advocacy, and it is making sure that you get the kind of care that you deserve.
Mary, when you think about this advocacy work that you're doing now around breast cancer and about your aunt's life, what are some lessons that you can kind of impart? Like, what did your aunt's life teach you, and what have you kind of learned through this process of being an advocate?
My aunt passing away from breast cancer and us not knowing till later is for us to speak up more, and I'm not telling anybody what to do. This is what I'm doing. Be a voice, I'm a voice, and to help get people informed about how a mammogram can save our lives. So I think if we spoke about it more in our homes, and it takes a while. It's a process to get to the loving yourself from the inside out, and wanting these things for yourself. So all I can do is be an example of that. I can't, because everyone gets there in their own time. And Black women, we don't like to speak because we're private. We hide. Our grandparents hide things till they die. And I just think, for us right now, we shouldn't hide things till we die. We should speak and help someone.
No, I totally agree that silence that often Black families will have around health issues is very, very dangerous. And I think you speaking out is so important, Mary. My next question is for all three of you, and let's start with Linda. What message do you hope to leave Black women with when it comes to this conversation around breast cancer?
The message is, obviously, get screened early. Start at 40. If you are of average risk, get a mammogram every year. Know your family history, because you may need to get screened earlier if you have a family history. And importantly, prioritize your health. We take care of everybody else. We take care of the family. We're the chief medical officers, and we often get to our health last. And know your body, know your breast, go to the doctor, and insist that you get the kind of treatment that you deserve.
Dr. Hampton?
The ACR, the American College of Radiology, and the Society of Breast Imaging have deemed Black women as high risk for breast cancer. And because of that, they're recommending that we should start screening and at least get a risk assessment by age 30. And so what that means is finding and seeking out a breast provider who can sit down, speak with you, determine the density of your breast, determine family history, or see if you have any other high-risk factors, and consider getting mammograms before the age of 40. I think not enough women know that that's out there. And so we really need to really publicize that so that Black women know, hey, this might be available to me, and I might be one of those ones who needs to start getting mammograms before the age of 40. I think that can be life-saving. I think we can really turn around those stats when it comes to Black women and breast cancer.
Mary, what do you hope people come away with from this conversation?
I mean, the fact that a mammogram can really save your life, and please do not be afraid or ashamed or feel guilty that you didn't do it yet. It's okay. Now is the time if you're hearing this. If you're hearing this, it's time. So just, be as strong as you can and don't be ashamed and just don't be afraid. It doesn't hurt. Just do it.
No, I totally agree. I think it's so important for women to engage around their health, particularly Black women. And I think having all three of you speak out on this issue is so important to our community. And so I want to thank you all for being part of this pivotal discussion that I hope will encourage many Black women to go out and get mammograms and seek the help they need for their own personal benefit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.